Hi, this is Trending G. Today we're looking at Gaza, where civilians face severe shortages of food, medical care, and humanitarian aid. Let's break down the situation, its legal and religious implications, and what the world is saying. Gaza's humanitarian crisis. Millions of civilians are trapped with very little access to food, water, or medicine. UN agencies report that hospitals are overwhelmed, with shortages of critical supplies. The World Food Programme says hundreds of thousands are at risk of hunger if aid is not allowed in. NGOs warn that children and the elderly are the most vulnerable. Amnesty International notes that attacks and blockades have cut off basic services for civilians in Gaza, creating life-threatening conditions. What international law says. International humanitarian law requires distinction between combatants and civilians. Attacks that harm civilians disproportionately may violate these laws. Human Rights Watch and UN reports have expressed concern over restricted aid and civilian casualties. Blockading medical supplies and food can be considered a violation of humanitarian law. The UN Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs says restricting essential aid in conflict zones puts civilians at extreme risk, raising legal questions about accountability. Protecting life and innocence. Major religious teachings emphasize the sanctity of innocent life. Judaism, Islam, and Christianity all teach protection of non-combatants during conflict. Many faith leaders worldwide have called for restraint and for humanitarian access to be restored. Interfaith groups are urging all sides to allow medical aid, food, and safe passage for civilians, highlighting moral responsibilities beyond politics. Ethical actions for viewers. Share verified reports from reputable NGOs and UN agencies. Donate to neutral humanitarian organizations, helping civilians on both sides. Support impartial investigations and diplomatic efforts for ceasefires. Avoid spreading unverified information or images that may incite hatred. Even small actions like amplifying verified humanitarian reports can make a difference without putting anyone at risk. Gaza's civilians are facing unimaginable hardship. We must focus on verified facts, ethical actions, and humanitarian support. Sources are linked in the description. Subscribe for fact-checked updates on this crisis.